Today we're going to start a new series called Superhero Spotlight. It's basically going to be a team building exercise on certain figures, strategies, synergies, or whatnot. And we're going to start with the Wolverine 004 from the House of X common figure. Okay, where to start? Wolverine is probably the best common in the format in terms of being a legit attacker. Mary Jane, Watson, and others might be better in terms of the point efficiency for 15 points what you get, but Wolverine is just a beast. He has team-up cards to go along with his strengths, but we are going to only focus on the Colossus team-up card. The very basic team you would do would be an X-Men themed team. If you want to look at the older pieces, you can look at Dark Phoenix, the Retaliator, Iceman, the Retaliator, Storm Prime, who's also Retaliator. There are a plethora of options in the new set, so it's going to be really hard to go over what the best teams are since it is still new and we don't know what the optimal teams are for Wolverine. However, just looking at the pieces that we do see, Juggernaut, either of the two Apocalypses that have the X-Men keyword, Krakoan Revival pieces are really good with Wolverine because he can come back and then just dish out more damage because he is pretty tough to kill initially and you have to KO him multiple times at the cost of these bystanders. But if you can handle the bystanders, Wolverine can most likely take over the game before you lose your team. Okay, let's go over his stats and powers and traits. He has 6 clicks for 60 points, which is already efficient. He has the Mutant CIA trait for protection and good mobility as he ignores hindering terrain. He has amazing stats all the way through with attack values of 11s and 10s and defense values of 18s and 17s. He has high movement for his charges and he can dish out quite a bit of damage on every click and the potential to dish out even more on the back end with Flurry, Blades, Claws, Fangs, and Battle Fury. He has Indomitable to keep going without taking damage. He has the X-Men TA to help heal him and regeneration on the back end for even more healing. Charge Flurry with Precision Strike and Exploit Weakness is what makes this Wolverine a close combat powerhouse. Once he gets up close, he has close combat, reflexes with an 18 defense, and if he's in stealth at that point, it's pretty tough to even attack him from range. As mentioned before, he is a good candidate for Krakoan Revival, as a trade-off for such damage output might be worth it, though time will tell. Now let's look at the Colossus team-up card, or Fastball Special if you're comic accurate. You can play the Regenesis number 12 at the 70 point line if you want to save your prime slot for someone like Bishop or Storm or even Zorn, on X-Men teams that is. This Colossus isn't bad, but you could do better for the point value. If you're not planning to use a slot for one of those pieces, then the piece to play should be the Colossus Prime from the X-Men animated series at 25 points. Keep that in mind. He is a Retaliator who deals extra free damage when he charges and breaks blocking terrain, and since he is a giant, he can carry Wolverine closer before getting the party started. Also note that he doesn't have Colossal Indifference, so he can just regular attack without having to worry about the size. Now that we got all that out of the way, how do we use him? Let's look at the strategy and tactics for Wolverine. We use his stealth for some protection from attacks in the beginning, and after that it's pretty easy. You just TK him into combat and get the party started, aka the Fastball Special with the Colossus team-up card. With the team-up, remember that Wolverine can use charge at no cost, and there are times where you will use your charge just to get closer and not attack on the first charge. You will use his regular costed action to charge again, this time attacking. However, if you're able to get the true Fastball Special, Wolverine will be attacking 4 times with a base 11 attack 3 damage. Yikes. As noted above, his speed power, Weapon X Reject, is the best close combat combo you can ask for, and even better when combined with Precision Strike. You can opt to just exploit for big damage if Impervious or Invulnerability is a problem. Perplex or Empower would help here. Double Exploit Weakness attacks for 3+ damage is brutal. Once entrenched in combat, he can be a tough out, and even if he gets beat down a bit, you have a wide array of X-Men Retaliators ready to go the next turn. Now let's look at Bronze Age, and let me tell you, there are just too many ways to build teams with Wolverine. The number one thing in Bronze Age for this figure is that you can use him as a great ID card call-in. With 2 different ID cards, this Wolverine can dish out some serious damage. Let's look at some of the main force options. If we go with the Colossus team-up card, we have more Colossus options like the Uncanny X-Men Common and the Deadpool X-Force Super Rare. Both are solid options and keep your prime slot open. Animal theme teams with Alyosha Craven can get Wolverine into combat faster. Going this route you'd be using pieces like Throg and Wendigo and maybe Gorilla Grodd, and you won't need Colossus, as Alyosha will be the one to give Wolverine a move action at no cost to get him into combat in one turn. For longevity, Phoenix Force is a great option as it gives flight, poison, stat boost, and most importantly, damage reducers. Lastly, we can't talk about Bronze Age X-Men teams without at least looking at Blackbird teams. No matter what point value you want to play the Blackbird, you will have an array of low point X-Men pieces to support this Wolverine on the main force, such as Moira McTaggart, Dupe, Leech, Dark Phoenix, Iceman, and so forth. You can even combine him with Xavier School Super Rares, Cyclops, and/or the Wolverine to add even more ID cards to your force, since they have the Headmaster trait. If you really want the full Wolverine package, you can main force 1 and ID card 2 more. It doesn't really matter which format you play him in, whether it's modern, bronze, or sealed. This Wolverine is a top tier piece and should be a staple in the format as long as close combat type of teams are going to be prevalent, or at least part of the metagame. Thanks for listening and watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this first episode. This should be a continuing series. As usual, please like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know what you think we should focus on next. Guess until next time, when in doubt, perplex the attack.